All right. We're back. Morris, peace and love, everybody. For those of you who are already familiar with this platform, you probably already know this isn't where you come for the latest gossip. That's not how we do here, right? So you probably already figured we're not just going to talk about DMX, but I did want to discuss this situation briefly and how it relates to us in general. Okay, so that's one thing I want to do, and let me pull this up for you. All right, so yeah, DMX suffered a heart attack. They're saying he's in critical condition. They're acting like he's not gonna make it. I mean, it's crazy. The Moabites and I just saw DMX live. Right, he came through with Bone Thugs and Harmony and Maya, and we saw him performing. He was live. He was like classic DMX. He's standing on top of the speakers. You could tell like the people working the stage, like they didn't want him up there probably because of insurance reasons, but he's DMX. Can't nobody tell him what to do. He's gonna get up there anyway. But back to this, like basically it's saying he had a drug overdose and it triggered a heart attack. There, which those don't, he's not yet, but he's in a vegetative state. Some people saying he has brain activity, so not really sure what's happening. Just know he's in a hospital in Harlem. Speaking on DMX saying that he had an addiction to crack cocaine, which began when he was 14. And he's been in and out of rehab for several years. So, and then it's just saying, what does grave condition mean? Basically, when recovery is not expected. So they don't think that he's going to make it. All right. So, send prayers to that brother and his family. Of course, we don't want anything. We don't want that brother to make the transition. But if Allah wills it, that's what's going to happen. Okay. And so this is just giving some more details of basically he's been struggling with drugs, obviously, for a long time. I did not know that he's had an addiction to crack cocaine since he was 14. Wow. Yeah. So that's pretty serious. But not really wanting to speak on this brother's situation so much because, like I said, we don't do the gossip thing here. There's plenty of people who gossip. If you want to get the latest gossip, that stuff's corny to me, right? We don't do that. But there's something that I do want to speak on and how this relates to us in general. The culture that we have is so-called black people. Now, if you know better, you know that we're Moors, we're Asiatics. We don't call ourselves black, but this is the condition that's been forced on us, that we've grown up in, that is festered and degraded down to what it is today. What does it mean to be black? Right? What gets pushed on us? Okay. So this situation that we have with the brother with the drug overdose, once again, is not about him. But this is something that's we're seeing occur even more in our society, right? Like you can see what's up on the screen. The brother Juice WRLD, the rapper, passed away recently. What they say he died from? Codeine and oxycodone, saying he had a seizure and that he overdosed. Okay. Right. So it looks like he was maybe 21, might have only been 21 years old. Right. And if you looked at his music, if you actually listened to his music, like I ain't listened to this dude's music, but a lot of people did. And that's all he talked about, right? Was drug use, abusing drugs. Okay. It's really sad. I saw an interview with another rapper who only talks about drug use, degenerate behavior, was Future, which you don't really hear too much from Future anymore. But he said that he felt bad about what happened to Juice WRLD. He said that he saw Juice WRLD in an interview where he said that he actually started taking drugs because he was listening to Future's music, and it influenced him. It made him think that it was cool. to do drugs. And they call this stuff emo rap. I guess that's the new cornball phrase. And that's what everybody talks about. Just degenerate behavior. If it's not killing other black people, then it's drugs. Or just being degenerate, ignorant, belligerent, self-destructive. Right? This is what gets pushed on us. Hardcore, young, lean. He gone off that lean. Okay? I think this guy died too, right? Extension, triple, whatever, however you say this stupid mess. XXX. Did he die? Oh, it says he was assassinated. Oh, whoa, he got shot. So that's murder. Multiple gunshot wounds. That's another thing that's promoted, right? Drug use, killing our own people. And that gets pumped on us hardcore. Okay. And so it's a big deal. And it's a serious problem. Lower self-behavior. Peace to the brother Dawood. Right on. You spot on. The person just said, is that real news? Yeah. Overdose caused a heart attack. Grave condition. So they're not expecting him to make it. Right. Yeah. So, but what I really wanted to talk about though was just how this relates to us in general. And also a solution, because we don't want to focus on problems. So one thing I want to do, we had a previous show on here, which I really suggest everyone goes and watches it and shares it. And that show was actually speaking on the savage program that's pushed on our people. Savagery, straight up savagery. All right. And it's really important that we are aware of this stuff so that we know what's being pushed on us and so that we can do something about it. Because one thing that's discouraged, well, two things actually are discouraged, strongly discouraged in our community. One is masculinity. Masculinity is discouraged, right? If you look at the traits or the attributes of masculinity, there's leadership, courage, right? Leadership, that means you can stand on your own. You can lead the way. Courage, being able to, once again, do your own thing, not having fear, not meaning that you never encounter fear, just meaning that you're ready to take it on. Okay. And then another thing that's discouraged is critical thinking. Critical thinking is strongly discouraged. And when I say strongly discouraged, I don't mean just that the average person doesn't like critical thinking. I mean that it's promoted. You have people, money, resources being put behind, hey, get these guys to rap about, making foolish choices, foolish activity, self-destructive activity. Get them to promote it, make it seem like it's cool. It's cool to be stupid. It's cool to be ignorant. It's cool to be straight up dumb, like an airhead, which is the opposite of masculine, right? There's nothing masculine, right? In the world of men, like real men. I don't mean thugs and baby men. I mean, like in the world of real men, there's nothing at all cool about being a fool, about being foolish, being ignorant, right? You can suffer for that. Other people can take advantage of you. It's difficult in business, right? When you encounter things that you're unaware of, your ignorance can hold you back. Right. So it's not cool. But this is being encouraged. This is being, you have legitimate resources being put behind pushing this hardcore to our people. Right. And we're just eating it up. It's in the music. It's in the TV shows. It's now become a part of the community, making bad choices. All right. And, it's a serious problem. There's another video on here, though, that I wanted you guys to check out and share. Let me pull up the channel real quick, though. All right. So when you get the chance, go to the Moors in America channel and scroll through the videos. There's a video on here that I need everybody to share. Maybe I could put that in the description later for those watching it that don't catch the live. I'll put it in the description, but there's a video on here specifically right here, cracking the Savage Beast Code. Okay, so this is specifically speaking about the program, the mind control program that has been put into our community to hold us back, to keep us stuck in the lower self. Okay, and it's a big deal. It's a big deal. And that's why you have these things occurring, right? And that's why we're going to see more of it. It's not over with. So we have to get out of this mindset. And first, you have to at least be aware of it. You have to know that it's not all good, right? So this is a serious problem that critical thinking is discouraged within our community. It's discouraged, right? They want you to be proud to be stupid. So I'm going to ask that everybody shares this video. It's got almost 1,000 views. It needs to be seen way more than that. Because one thing that happens when you actually see things, when you become aware of the issue, right, that kills the program. That's how you can get out of that situation, by becoming aware of it. So people need to know about this. I asked that everybody shares that. But let's go ahead and go in. I'm just going to go through some of these slides that I have on that. I'm not going to go over that whole Savage Beast thing. You can share that video, but I do want to talk about some of this because it really hits home, right? So you might think that the whole drug culture, the black on black violence culture, you might think that this is just coming from ignorance, right? But no, it's not. It's mind control. And it's specifically planned out, and resources, meaning money, is put behind it. You have people who are getting paid to push this. You have gatekeepers who will only sign rappers that's going to promote it. And they look for people to groom, people that are either ignorant, maybe they think that it's cool to act like this, or people who are moldable, that they can treat like puppets to come out and put in front of you to promote it. Right? And so this is really important to know. Now, those of us who are Moors, who are Muslims, who actually study, aware of the Quran and the lessons and things that we have to help to undo this program, you already know that there's a whole mindset that comes along with being black, being the Negro. All right. If anybody's, like it says here, if anybody's still under the illusion, though, that Negro doesn't delude to slavery, you probably think it's cool to be a savage right now. Right. I mean, I still see this. There's even people, women who consider themselves Moors, who still think it's cool to refer to themselves as a bitch. And you got to think about that. A bitch is a female dog. That's savagery right there. That's savage. And it's not cool to be savage because our people are marked for death. Literally. You can't be a savage and then say, oh, Black Lives Matter. Those two things don't go together. The savage people have to be eliminated. Right? So black literally means dead. And instead of returning to our ways, becoming noble, learning what that means and working on yourself to actually resemble your ancestors, your great ancestors who created civilization, we're being encouraged by Sony, Def Jam, Seagram's, Vivendi, Universal, and all these other corporations, multinational corporations, to be a savage nigga. All right. And then you have to remember that a Negro is a four-legged beast. And then African-American, black nigga, Negro, colored, those are all labels for the slave caste in America. This is for real. Not for fake. Right? So they push this on us. They're still pushing it hardcore. Right? You know, the 21 Savage. The song with Meg Thee Stallion was literally called Savage, and it was a huge hit. They even remixed it with that woman from that show, the Tiger dude. I don't even know her name. Where she was talking about killing her husband. Right? So Savage gets pushed on us hardcore. And when you look at the lyrics to that Meg Thee Stallion song, it's terrible. Right? The stuff she's saying in there. Literally, it's despicable. Everything she's speaking about, how she is low level, ignorant savagery. Okay, and so a lot of resources. You see, this Jason Derulo song got over 101 million views. Savage Love, right? The Meg Thee Stallion song was huge, and then it's just in the hook, I'm a savage. But everything she's speaking on is just low level, ignorant, unbecoming, despicable behavior. And then literally in your head, it's I'm a savage. 21 Savage. We find out that 21 Savage ain't even one of us. He's from London. He's from Britain. And here he is over here with the face tats and everything, acting like a thug. He's over here living a thug life. You kind of find out his parents are conscious. His dad was like doing lectures or something, or selling herbs or something like that. This dude's from London. It's like, what the heck are you doing over here talking like you from the dirty South, making songs about killing N-words? 21 Savage. He was facing deportation and that got exposed, right? So like, he's not the only one. That means there's others. There's others out here who are like him. They doing it all this cornball stuff is being pushed on us, and they promoting they're actors. They're promoting the savagery, abusing drugs. Once again, critical thinking, strongly, right? Critical thinking. What does that mean? If you shoot somebody, if you kill someone, it's not worth it. You go to prison. Somebody might want to retaliate, right? I mean, like, there's so many reasons not to get involved in that, and then especially killing somebody over what? Just robbing them, or just for, stepping on your shoes or something like that. Like, what? Right? Doing drugs, overdosing, right? Abusing drugs, prescription drugs, cough syrup, foolish. Like, these things cause brain damage, cause so many things, so much damage. It's just no critical thinking, right? Just having random sex and just creating babies out of wedlock. All of these things that will ruin your life, that will make life more difficult than it has to be, that will just look, the critical thinking is discouraged. This is savage programming. Savage programming, right? Even songs like catchy songs like this one, Chris Brown, had nearly 300 million views, right? R&B song, the lyrics is terrible. They're just terrible, right? It's savagery. It's all savagery. Rihanna, R&B again. What's she telling you in the song Needed Me? Didn't they tell you I was a savage? She ain't trying to get married. She's a savage, right? It's pushed on us hardcore. That another one, almost 300 million views. That's huge hit. And so it's programming us, and then it's letting the world know that we're savages. Okay, so when you're trying to claim to be a more, the creators of civilization, they're like, oh, no, y'all savages. We hear your people saying this all the time. We don't believe you. Y'all are materialistic, right? Materialistic, shallow, because we're all about looks and just materialistic, don't have any morals, right? The women that do anything, the men are dangerous. 21 Savage, right? So this is what's getting pushed. And then it's not, these aren't just like, it's not an accident. Just like, I hope this is waking somebody up, because hey man, I listened to the song too, but look, it's programming, right? So like in radio, right, in the music industry, what is the person's job who is basically over all of the playlists for all of the stations? In, if they actually have a building, I don't even know what they do anymore, but they used to have buildings with all the radio stations in there. So like, what's that guy's name who's over the playlist that's getting played? He's called the program director, or at least it used to be. They might have got rid of that now, right? But back in the day, yeah, they were called the program director. Okay, the program director, and they decide what's going to get played on the radio. Okay, doesn't matter what it is, urban music, whatever. And so this is all a part of a program. It's not a coincidence. Rihanna saying, "Didn't I tell you I was a savage?" Right? She ain't trying to get married. That's not her idea. She ain't writing this stuff. It's not a coincidence she's saying this and boom, she got lingerie by Fenty. Savage is her brand. Her brand of lingerie. Savage. Savage by Rihanna. Like, come on, man. And then ooh, wow, they pumping Meg the Stallion too, right along with it. Right? So all the women doing this, they wearing it, right? This is programming. This wasn't your brilliant idea. You've been programmed to think like this. So if you a female calling yourself a bitch, you've been programmed to think like this. You don't even know what a bitch is, a real bitch. You don't know. Right? We gonna talk about that real quickly though. But like, yeah, like, okay, Doja Cat. This got 200 million views. Boss B word, boss bitch. Like, come on, man. Come on. Meg the Stallion did it too, right? Bitch. Just in case you can't spell, she got it spelled out for you. All right, don't get it twisted. She's a female dog, wolf, fox, or otter. Cause that's what a real bitch is. It's a female dog, wolf, fox, or otter. From Merriam-Webster, the female of the dog or some other carnivorous mammals. Okay? And then you see the examples they got. Example, the bitch won first place in the sporting dogs. See more. Bitch is a commonly used slang word that is nonetheless vulgar when you throw it at a woman or a man. Okay? The word originally meant and still means a female dog. All right? A female dog, wolf, fox, or otter. And otters are vicious. Okay? You might think they're a little cute, because they're playful and curious animals. They are vicious, like literally. Okay? Otters, I've seen otters eat alligators alive. Like two otters will come and they'll attack the alligator. They eat it while it's alive. They're vicious. They're wild animals. Okay? That's a bitch, a female otter. And I think the females are bigger than the men. So they vicious. So you calling yourself a bitch. You are a vicious female dog, wolf, fox, or otter. You're a savage. You'll rip somebody's head off. You're savage. Right? Didn't this one get shot in the foot? You can't be like, oh, I'm a victim. He hurt me. You're a bitch. You're a bitch. You are a female dog, wolf, fox, or otter. You can't cry when things go sideways, when savage stuff happens. Right? You're supposed to fight it out to the death. Rip that fool jugular out or something. Because you calling yourself this. You're savage. All right? So this is what's happening. This is just some examples. I mean, they promoting the promiscuity. This fool had the slut walk. And then this guy, once again, that's how you know that 21 Savage dude, this ain't about these people. Right? I'm not into this gossip mess, but that's how you know this dude is an actor, a mind programmed puppet, an actor. All right. He's from London. And here he is under this slut walk, right? And it says Captain Save-A-Ho. Like, no dude, no rapper. If you like, some of y'all young and you just caught up in all this stuff, you don't even know how corny, how stupid that is. All right, like you literally, E40 had the song Captain Save-A-Ho. That's where it came from. He was clowning that the whole time. He's making fun of it. How stupid it is. How nobody respects some dude that is doing what this guy is doing. Right? And things have fallen so far away from that this is getting pushed to you and people are just accepting it. Right? They just going with it. Right? So all this stuff leads, to misery. It just destroys your life. In real life, it says Trey Savage shot dead. Right? Chicago rapper got killed. Then you see on the side, there's all these other rappers that got killed too. Mostly to gun violence, shootings. Right? So it has real life consequences. And it's the exact opposite of our divine instructions. That's really important because um, by going along with this stuff, it's the exact opposite of where we're supposed to be at, right? I mean, if you're really a more, right? So somebody said, "What's going on?" So we not really speaking so much on these famous people, DMX. Just an example. It's unfortunate to hear what happened to DMX. That he overdosed on drugs and he's in critical condition right now. He had a heart attack that was triggered by the overdose, and they're acting like he's not gonna make it. I mean, for all I know, things could have gone even worse now, as they're saying he's unresponsive. So that's too bad. That's unfortunate. We wish the best for that brother. Um, but what we're really talking about now is how this has been programmed in our people as a whole. This has been pushed on us. This is the direction that we're all being pushed in. Okay. When I was coming up in Memphis in the dirty South, it was cool to be untrustworthy, to be, just to be violent and basically to be a criminal. You know, the more untrustworthy you are, the more hard core you are, just not having no feelings, nothing, and doing drugs, all that stuff, right? Like all that's what was cool. That's how we were supposed to be. That's what was pushed on us. And so now it's not even the whole selling drugs, it's just doing drugs. It's cool to just do drugs and to be stupid, to not think. Okay, they still pushing the black on black violence, right? And look, it's foolish. And we're under a spell collectively. Like people don't realize it. We're under a spell. So we're also going to talk about the solution to this. But as a whole, we're under a spell, literally. Like the word um the word black or negro, any of these things, like at this point in time, since it was designed to remove you from the family of humans, and it deludes whether it's African American or black, it still deludes to negro, right? Basically that spell makes you dead. The black community is like a carcass, right? Everything is feeding off of it. All of the vultures, all of the other creatures, they're just feeding off of it. Okay, and that's why they sell black death, black suffering. They're having they were talking about the trial, I guess, for the dude who killed George Floyd just recently. Everybody's looking to see if that cop will actually get convicted. And you already know more than likely it ain't gonna happen. Right? But people, it's like they're addicted to it. The pain, the suffering, the hopelessness of the black community, right? It sells. It's getting pushed, and it's really time to step outside of that. But you can't step outside of that if you still like for the ladies, you still a bad B word. You a bitch and proud. All right, because that means you're still going along with the program, because that's what gets promoted. I mean, you have women of all types of ethnicities that's trapped into that stupid way of thinking too, but specifically it's pushed on us. They get us to come out there and push it and promote it like it's cool, and that's why other people want to copy it. So all of the sisters out there that's buying into that, if you're still a Negro, you're stuck in that mindset, right? It's not cool. I see somebody in the chat say, "What about Nigerian, brother?" Not sure what you're talking about. What do you mean about the Nigerians? They have a nationality. They have their line of descent. They know who they are. They're not in the same position as us, and they still make mistakes and do stupid stuff too, but they're not in our position. Much love to them, unless they talking trash about us. If that's the case, for the ones that don't have no love for us, hey, same way to them. I don't care. But they're not in the same position. If you have something else to say, though, type it in the chat. I'm not sure what you're trying to say. All right, but back to this, though. Look, we have a solution, okay? This stuff was pushed on us to keep us from fulfilling our true purpose, our destiny. This savage program is the opposite of our divine instructions, right, from the prophet. I advise everybody to get the Quran, the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Get the Quran questionnaire for Moorish Americans. Right up here, you see questions 70 through 72. All right. What is the higher self? Now, before we do that, if you look at the cover, you see the prophet. He's lifting humanity out of the cares of the world, right? Why? Because humanity was drowning in the cares of the world. All right. Hang on one second. Humanity was drowning in the cares of the world. All right. So why was humanity drowning in the cares of the world? Because, for example, like just with this, if you're stuck in this savage program, you're going to have all types of problems that are avoidable, right? The drug problems, the drug overdoses. These are traps that are actually easy to sidestep. Right now, they want people to abuse prescription drugs, right? And it's really easy not to get caught up in that. People get caught up because they're programmed. That the weak, you're getting caught up in the program, right? The whole black on black violence thing, where you either out there, if you're out there participating in this, it's going to ruin your life. You're going to wind up in jail. Even whether you're doing you're actually going all the way with the gun violence or you're robbing, and either way, it's going to lead to jail, prison, not jail, prison, right? Getting drowning in the cares of the world, getting caught up. Okay. And so he comes and he gives us the salvation, just the tools, the divine instructions to keep you out of that. You're now on the rock of salvation, right? So question 70 says, what is the higher self? And the answer is the higher self is the mother of virtues and the harmonies of life and breeds love, justice, mercy, and right. Can the higher self pass away? No. Why? Because it is Allah and man. Okay. So we're not even aware it as a collective of the higher and lower self. The lower self is being promoted to us hardcore, like that's all that we are, right? You're not even shedding that and moving towards the higher aspect of you. You're getting deeper and deeper into the lower self, right? So deep into it that people are even referring to themselves as animals, females. Like it's cool to call yourself that. And that is a female dog, wolf, fox, or otter. Carnivorous animals. These are meat eaters. Okay, I mean they can get real ferocious. Okay, and that's being pushed on us when it's the exact opposite of our divine instructions. A lot of people want to connect to ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet, and claim that's your ancestors. Well, the ancient Egyptians were all about subduing the lower self. All right. The priesthood, the priestly class, which are the ones who actually ran Egypt. All right. And the priesthood, of course, would have been the Moors. It's a known fact that the priesthood class or the priests of Anu were the Moors. But in this meme, you see the pharaohs holding these tools to balance the lower self, the lower nature. And in a lot of the sculptures and things from ancient Egypt, it was all about balancing and subduing the lower self. But the program that's pushed on us is about making the lower self more prominent, when that is the opposite of what's going on, not just with us, but with the whole entire world, with the universe. From our perspective, what's going on with the whole solar system? All the planets are vibrating at a higher level. Everything is making a transition. Even the planet is going to a higher level, right? And for all we know, there's an element, an aspect, a tiny aspect of society that knows that they can't make that transition. And they need to keep enough of us vibrating slow enough so that they can still survive. Okay? So this savagery is being pushed on us. It's a program, and it's the exact opposite of our divine instructions. This is once again from the questionnaire. Question 64. Give 5 names that are given to the descendants of Adam and Eve. They're Lucifer, Satan, devil, dragon, and beast. If you know the characteristics that go along with those 5 names, then you actually know how to recognize the lower self when these thoughts come through, right? So it's not just being thrown out there. What is the devil sometimes called? The lower self. How many cells are there? 2, higher and the lower self. You have to be aware of your enemy and then be able to identify and locate the enemy. So Allah's prophet in these last days provided us with the personalities or the disguises that the lower self uses to operate, right? And that's why we have the disguises. Give the 5 names given to the descendants of Adam and Eve: Lucifer, Satan, devil, dragon, and beast. These are just examples. Beast represents the craving for gross materialism. Dragon represents greed, passion, lust, ignorance, perversion, and that which is earthbound. And that's pretty much all rap and R&B music right now. Right? Rap, gross materialism. Right? Right? Money, cars, drugs. Then you got greed, passion, lust, ignorance, perversion, that which is earthbound. That's rap. That's R&B. Right? That's it. And that's just the culture as a whole, what's being pushed and promoted. That's why you have all these women now getting implants or getting surgery or doing things like, little enhancements right to their body. That's why they're all taking pictures backwards. Everybody, it's all about pushing that lust and perversion, right? Getting this to the forefront when this is supposed to be getting subdued, this aspect of you, so that the higher self can come through, so that we can rule from our higher self, right? And then this whole YOLO thing, you only live once. They actually used to be saying that. Then nobody's even saying that now. It's everything, it's a fad. It just comes and goes, right? Just comes and goes. But everybody was saying that. But that's the motto of the lower self, because the lower self is earthbound and will pass away. Can the higher self pass away? No. Why? Because it is Allah and man, spirit man, right? Can't pass away. What does the lower self breed? Hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything that harms. What did the higher self say to the lower self at one time when he met Satan? Where are you going, Satan? What was the answer the lower self gave to the higher self? I'm going to and fro the earth, seeking whom I may devour. You only live once. That's why it's important. If you consider yourself a Moor, right? If you're actually a Moorish American, you need to be studying this, right? And there's another thing. I'm not knocking anyone, but you can't claim to be noble and all high up if you haven't even made efforts to subdue your lower self. You can't. And that's the motto of the lower self. You only live once. It really is. So somebody said, aren't Afro-Americans descendants of Nigerians? Why not call yourself Nigerian and more? Who said we're descendants of Nigerians? Are you going off of the common narrative with slavery? And they don't even say Nigerian specifically. They just say West Africa. Nigeria is one nation within West Africa. West Africa, that's like the whole Western, and Midwestern portion of Africa. Is ridiculous. They don't even pin us to one area where we can say, okay, this is who we are, because they disconnected us from humanity. And no, we're not all descendants of Nigerians, because the entire Americas was filled with people that look like us. The DNA tests are being, we're given a portion that fits the common narrative when you get the DNA test done. All right. The common narrative is that everything came out of Africa. That really has nothing to do with this here, but I will be speaking with a geneticist soon on this channel, and she can go in further than I can. I'm not going to act like that's my specialty, but I do know that, that whole thing, man, it's off. It's off. All right. It's off. They found bones over here of people that you would say were pygmies from the Congo. They found these bone fragments and even, I think, entire skeletons over here of these people, and they tested it. And they were over here, not over in the Congo. And the bones were over 100,000 years old. And this stuff has been published, even though they're not telling people this. It's here. It's on the record. It's known who we are, right? So no, not calling ourselves Nigerians. It's just like Nigerians aren't claiming us. Okay, and then for the most part, they try to stick us in Ghana, even though they don't pin us down. They just say the whole West Africa. So no, not doing that. You know, Nigerians have their own country and their own problems. All right, but yeah, this whole YOLO thing, you know, you only live once. That's basically what happens. So critical thinking is discouraged in our community, and that's a serious problem, right? So when you're saying the stuff that I'm saying, if you're stuck in the savage mindset, you're like, oh man, he hating, blah, blah, you know, because critical thinking is discouraged. That's why, just like this is stupid. Why is anyone doing this? There's some people out here who claim that they're Moors who are doing this. Like, dude, there's no reason your underwear should be showing at all. That's stupid. That's embarrassing. You know, I'm not trying to shame people that are homosexual, but it's like, what are you? Are you homosexual? You know where this came from, right? This is from prison. This is what the girly boys was doing in there. You know, they had their pants down, walking around like that for a reason, letting everyone know how they got down. Now, why would anyone be doing that out here? If you're still doing that, this should make you stop. Right. And then this is just ridiculous. Like, why? Look at the dude's ankles and stuff's all skinny. He's like, dude, come on, man. Nobody wants to see your underwear. This is stupid. This is savage. This is dumb. This is the backwards. This is the exact opposite of what we're supposed to be doing. Like, this dude is lost in the sauce. Better not have no fez on your head. Somebody need to come and smack that off. Just take it. You know, maybe hand them a book. Be like, you can have this back when you know, become a real man. Coke boy, man. Savage nigga. Come on, man. Negrification. This is what happened to us. And it's still occurring. The fact or act of making a Negro. Placing under control of blacks. Placing us under control. The act of making black. To blacken. Negrify is to blacken. From the 1650s. Negrify, to turn into a Negro, from 1790. So what was going on in that time period? They're saying negrify is to blacken, and that was the term that they used in the 1650s. But that was what they were doing. They were negrifying the indigenous people. Negrify, to turn into a Negro. This is what they were saying in 1790. Right? What did our prophet let us know? These labels got put on us as a whole, collectively, in 1794. This is what was happening for real. Johnson, 1755, has negrification in a literal sense, act of making black. Okay. So they made us non-descendable. There were millions of people living in the West that were not African, but were reclassified as Africans. And because of that reclassification, they became non-descendable. They did the negrification to make you non-descendable. And it's still going on. If your skin was dark, then it was believed that you were from Africa. And then your indigenous nationality was stripped from you. Right? This is from the book, In the Image of God. I'm trying to think of the whole title. In the Image of God. I have that book. Let me see if it's on the bookshelf right here. Where is it? In the Image of God. Okay, I'm gonna put that in the description later. But basically, they're going on making the case for how the Negro is basically the missing link. You might not even be able to see the Negro right here off in the dark. He outside of the line of kinship with God. Even though in reality, according to the Quran of Mecca, we are lords. We are God's vice regent here on earth. They got us outside of creation, right? It's crazy, right? That's what happens if you're a savage nigga. That's the troglodyte nigga right there, which is actually somebody else's heritage. Has nothing to do with us. We don't come from cavemen. right? So the prophet delivered us from darkness. We know who turned the lights out. It's not they. It's not some invisible people. Henry Berry's on the record in the House of Delegates in Virginia, 1832, saying we have as far as possible closed every avenue by which light may enter the slave's mind. If we could extinguish the capacity to see the light, our work would be complete. They would then be on a level with the beast of the field, and we should be safe. That's what you're seeing right now. That's what all this stuff is. On the level with the beast of the field, right? You calling yourself the B word, you're a proud B word, even though that's a female dog, fox, or otter. In the physical world, that's how it happens, right? They don't have us um wearing like collars like they walking the dog. They don't have us, walking around like that. But didn't Snoop Dogg had a picture where he had the two Asiatic women on the collars though, right? And what would he have called them? Right? He had his song, hoes ain't nothing but. Oh, man, come on, man. Like, what was that picture too, man? That was horrible. Snoop Dogg, man, you messed up with that. He had the Asiatic girls on the dang dog collars, man, on the leashes. It was terrible, Brett. Terrible. Yep. Came out with Bishop Don Magic Wand. Yeah, here we go. That was messed up, Snoop. But it happens. And this is for real. So like we had that, okay? And that literally they're making the case where we're removed from the family of humans, actually representative in Virginia talking about how we would be on the level with the beast of the field. And we're in the savage program. See, this is not just me throwing darts at the wall. This is real. A lot of people don't realize this. In 2003, Snoop Dogg, see, some of y'all don't even know because y'all babies, man. In 2003, Snoop Dogg paraded around the MTV Music Awards with two women on dog leashes. Talk about dehumanizing. And they did it willingly. He'll tell you, be like, I didn't make them do that. They wanted to do it, right? Because it's lust and perversion, right? They got their nipples out, right? They got the see-through mesh on, little mini skirts, right? And they happy. Yeah, put them dog leashes on us. Okay. And it's horrible, man. And they Asiatic too, man. That's really messed up. They got it on. They walking with them, for the camera. So this gets promoted all over the world. Whatever we do here, it's a big deal, like it or not. Okay. And so just showing this to show like this stuff actually happened. That's how it happens in the physical realm. And what I mean by that is saying that what I was just reading about the man in the Virginia House of Delegates talking about removing the light from us, removing the capacity to even see the light. This is how it happens in the physical world for us. You see Snoop Dogg posing with the bitches, right? Bitch is a female dog, wolf or otter, fox or otter, and they got leashes on. And then we have females that are proudly, proclaiming it. They making the music. Meg Thee Stallion, humongous artist, right? This Doja Cat, she got 200 million views. Boss B word. She got it spelled out. BITCH, like that stands for something, right? And so it's promoted. And even some of y'all women that think you conscious, you still calling yourself the B word like it's cool. Like you don't even get it. That's savagery. Okay. And then you find out that, this foolishness with the dude sagging his pants. Wait, hold up. Coke boy, savage man, savage nigga. Negrification, the fact or act of making a Negro. And this is what they were doing in the 1750s. 1650s, 1755, 1790, negrified to turn into a Negro, the act of making black. This is what they were actually doing to us. to make us non-descendable, to turn you into savages. They wrote books about it. How we are outside of creation. You're the missing link. You're the troglodyte nigger, not them. Okay? Even though it could be successfully argued that it's actually the opposite, that they're flipping it on us. They turned out the lights. And so, why are these men, mostly of European descent, actually in the Virginia House of Delegates talking about us? So, it's Henry Berry said we have, as far as possible, closed every avenue by which light may enter the slave's mind. They cut off that critical thinking. They cut it off. If we would extinguish the capacity to see the light, our work would be complete. They would then be on a level with the beast of the field, and we should be safe. So now you're seeing this. They were talking about this nearly 200 years ago and putting in work to make it reality. And now we see it. 150 years later, Snoop Dogg is walking these two B words on dog leashes. They're safe because we're now proudly on the level with the beast of the field, and we proud of it. They putting out songs with hundreds of millions of views just about the B word and about how savage we are. And we proud. We proud of it, right? Proud to be doing all of this self-destructive stuff. All right, so they're speaking on another level, and this is going over people's heads. So they're cutting off the light. They're talking about cutting off the light, but what did the prophet say? This is from Drew Ali in Time. This is a quote from Prophet Noble Drew Ali in 1774. Your light was cut off from the ancient Moors, and that is why Allah has sent us a prophet in 1886 to prepare the light that was out. In 1925, the prophet said, I have mended the broken wires and have connected them with higher powers. So come on, Asiatics, don't you want to go? So he connected them. He mended it. He informed us of what was really going on. Let us see it and know for ourselves and know about the higher and lower self so that now you can avoid these traps, right? There should be no Asiatics walking around with women on leashes like that's cool, walking around with their underwear showing. They acting like you're a man. Like there's no way you can be a man and do this. Right? I don't want to show that. That's so ugly. It's horrible. Prophet, once again, this is from Divine Warning by the Nation. Not going to read the whole thing. He said, they are glad to see me bring you out of light, out of darkness into light. Right? Saying, speaking on how if you go to City Hall and speak to the officials in an intelligent tone. The prophet also said they have fallen from the true light, speaking about us, into utter darkness of sin. There's not a nation on earth today that will recognize them socially, religiously, politically, or economically. They've fallen from the true light, right? Putting it on us. So they cut the Negro off from the light, right? They hid our flag. They hid who we truly are. And now and you see this is actually from that's our flag that is actually on the ceiling in the Grand Lodge in England, like the oldest Freemasonic lodge, right? Like they literally have our flag right there. And if you don't know who you are, they'll tell you that's just a coincidence. It's just a coincidence. Don't look up there. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. That had nothing to do with you. And there's some brothers that are, Prince Hall Masons that'll argue that down too. Oh, that's not true. They're just saying whatever their masters told them. And they don't even realize it. They don't know that they're slaves. They have no idea. They don't think any of this is true. Right. So really putting this out there because, it's time to get with the program. I mean, all of this is based on us. If you want to know more about this, go share that video. Go share the video. I'll put the link in the description where I was talking about this Savage program. Really go in on this heavy, just to let you know who we truly are and how this has been covered up. That stone that you see on here was found in Ecuador. It has the 13 steps, just like the one on the dollar. Glows under a black light. It also has a script on the bottom of it that has been found all over the world. That script has been translated by a Berber, I think, from Mauritania, right? And he spoke several languages, but he also spoke some of the ancient dialects from Mauritania. And that's why he was able to understand the script that was on this stone that you see. It looks like a pyramid. All right, he translated it. And those same people, his tribe, they have stories about Atlantis. So not to get too far off into this, but I still advise people to go back to that video because we go heavy into this. What you see on the screen, just more proof of who we are, right? In the top right hand corner, you see an Egyptian statue. That might be Osiris. Osiris was the Lord of the Perfect Black, and he's wearing a red fez. Then under that, you see an Olmec statue. Looks like he has either a helmet or a fez on with tassels, and looks like maybe he has ropes at the bottom, like maybe even a turban wrapped. Right? Who knows? Right? So we see that. You see the Easter Island head statues. They actually have these giant red headdresses on. It's amazing. All of this was found over here. Easter Island's actually off the coast of Chile or Peru. I think Chile. All right, but also you see this quote, this from the book Queen Mu, the Egyptian Sphinx, and that was written by Augustus Le Plongeon. There's a portion in here where it's speaking specifically about the ancient he's speaking about the Mayans, but he's speaking about the ancient people in Peru, the Incas. And it says Garcilaso de la Vega, Cieza de Leon, Acosta, and other writers in Peruvian customs and manners inform us that the fringe and tassel of the Yantu, royal headdress of the Incas, were made of fine crimson wool. Right? So you had this royal headdress of the Incas. That means the nobles of the Incas were wearing a fine crimson wool hat, tall headdress, crimson wool. They had tassel on it, a tassel. Doesn't matter if they call it a Yantu, that's a fez. So the prophet came to us when we were lost in darkness and reconnected us to our ancient and divine heritage, which they cut us off from, right? To make us savage on the level with the beast of the field. That's why it's a problem that these females want to call themselves the B word. The dudes want to sag and do all this other stupid stuff that be to act savage, to actually take that on, to live it. That means you are proud to be on the level with the beast of the field. That's a quote from a representative. I don't know if he was a senator or a congressman who's speaking with other representatives, and they're talking about making us on the level with the beast of the field, cutting us off from the light. So you can't be proud to be savage. That's not just stupid. It's stupid, it's ignorant, but it's backwards. It's the opposite of what we're supposed to do. Right? So the other video, though, everybody share this, but also share that other videos. It goes more in depth. Not going to take too much time. Gonna go ahead and start wrapping this up, but this is just figurines from ancient Americans doing the same stance as the prophet, even dressed similarly. Look, being savage disconnects you from all of this. Our great heritage. That's in Mexico. This is in Ohio. I've actually been there. This Miamisburg Mound is a pyramid. It's a legit pyramid, and it's impressive. Okay, so you can't be savage. That disconnects you from everything. All right, and it's extremely important, to come into who you truly are. You can't do that if you're caught up in the game out here. All right, and it's really important to recognize this and to know that, this whole critical thinking thing, actually looking at things and saying, well, you know what, we're being programmed. That's discouraged, and it's discouraged for a reason, right? Because if you're able to see things for what they truly are, you won't be on the level with the beast of the field. You won't. You can't. So it's discouraged. I do advise everybody to share this Cracking the Savage Beast Code that's on our channel. Make sure you go like and share this. This needs to have way more views. This will help wake some people up, make people think more critically, to examine themselves, even if it's me, even if it's our own behavior that's savage. Sometimes we have to examine ourselves and get right. Sometimes we're holding ourselves back. It's not the big, like the prophet didn't blame it on the white man. He blamed it on us for going along with it still. And sometimes that's what you need to do to truly be successful. You have to be strong enough to recognize your own shortcomings and step up to the plate and do something about it instead of playing pretend and trying to escape. All right. We wouldn't fall for these traps that are set up for us. This is another trap that critical thinking would get us out of. And this may make some people upset because there's some people here who are Moors who don't think critically, right? This is a trap that's set up for us. This is an article that's specifically attacking us Moors. All right. This is in Kansas. I'm not gonna play this video, but it says Wichita, Kansas. The county sheriff's office division of finance worker was exposed to a powdery substance in the mail. It's been released from the hospital and is recovering at home. So this, I'll just read over this. Powdery substance was found on an envelope while mail was being processed. Talking about it was determined to be dimethylamine. The letter was, now this is it. The letter was addressed from the Moorish National Federal Republic Governmente. I don't know why they spell this Governmente. I don't even know if this is real. This could be some made up mess. Moorish National Federal Republic Governmente Societas Republic y Marcanos. It's a lot of words, right? I don't even know if that's legit because when you look it up, it's like, I don't see this, especially with that governmente thing. That looks like it's Spanish. Like, who the heck does all that? Somebody's doing too much. So anyway, that's who they're saying this is from. This is more than a threatening letter. They're trying to say this is terrorism because it caused people to fear for their lives. The letter was addressed to many, including Easter. Doesn't make any sense. I've had these folks reaching out to me for 20 plus years. This is the sheriff saying this. He's familiar with the group. They don't recognize which the Kansas or any of our laws. He said what they did on Monday crossed the line, caused the courthouse to be evacuated. They locked down the building. They had to come out in hazmat suits. Now the sheriff wants to hold them accountable. If we can determine the elements of it being terroristic, that it caused fear and those type of things, we have to shut it down. They're making a case. All right. They're saying this substance was found on some certified mail. Please be wary. Now they're trying to make the case for everybody. Please be wary of certified mail coming into your work area. Do not open anything from the above address. Right. So they're putting this out there. And you could say, well, they're just going after those people. Nah, they're trying to make the case for all Moors. Okay. So anybody who's talking that stuff, like the prophet didn't say any of this. The prophet said the Constitution, speaking about the Constitution, the American Constitution, he said it was one of the greatest documents ever written. Okay, and he actually said that on several occasions. And that's not taken out of context. I had that on my website. Go to moorsinamerica.com. We're speaking, matter of fact, because I know there's some people in here, no telling what people are saying right now. I said, like, the critical thinking is discouraged amongst our people. Like, I'm bringing this up because if you think critically, you'll look at that and you'll see that, hey, something's going on. Maybe I shouldn't be involved with any of that. They're trying to make a case. They're trying to call us all terrorists. You need to stay away from that mess. That's what critical thinking would cause you to do, right? But people don't think critically, so they'll see that and they'll still get caught up. But I'm going to go to the prophet because he actually spoke about the Constitution, right? Like he said here in Prophet Speaks to All Nations, Prophet Speaks to All Nations. He said they can cast a free national ballot at the polls under the free national constitution of the state's government. All right. Let me see what else. He said in Moorish leaders' historical message to America, I'm going to paraphrase this. This is our religious privilege as American citizens under the laws of one of the greatest documents of all time, the American Constitution. There was this fool on another post who was trying to say, when the prophet say anything about the Constitution? I put that quote up there and he still didn't want to get it. And that was crazy. Maybe I'll show you that. That was insane. And I'm showing you this because, like I said, critical thinking is not encouraged in our people. So even if you feel like you awake, like you have a good grip on things, You have to take this into account. It's discouraged amongst our people. Even those who think that they're enlightened, who feel like you're Moors, you still might be caught up out here. Um, Not saying this to try to put anyone down or make anybody feel any kind of way, but we have to say this. Let me, hopefully, I can find that. I really think people should see that, and hopefully, you can see how this is um, not helping us. Right? You have to recognize even when you're caught up, even if it's hard to see that, you have to. Okay, here we go. So this is the post. This post was just saying, hey, just so it's understood, we're true American citizens, full rights and privilege guaranteed under the Constitution, just like everyone else. Not saying we're special. Right? This is what we about: opening, patronizing our own business, acquiring land, property. We don't have anything to do with these sovereign citizens or the rhetoric. None of that foolishness, right? So there's a guy on here, man, just going crazy. And the reason I want to share this is so that you understand and see how critical thinking is extremely important. Extremely. So this dude saying which constitution, the divine constitution or the US? And after he said that, I shared this quote from the prophet with that same link. I advise you to go to that page and actually read this whole page. It's on moresanamerica.com. All right. So this is a quote from the prophet. Same quote that I just read. Under the laws of one of the greatest documents of all time, the American Constitution, signed Noble Drew Ali. And I'm showing you this for a reason. Critical thinking, Morris, is very important. This guy saw that post and he still put this up. Which constitution? And said, what's going on? Is there a hidden camera? Are you crazy? Like this is in several. That's not the only place where the prophet says this about the Constitution. And he said, you don't know where that quote came from. And then people got at him, which is good, because he said, they answered the questions. It's just not what you want to hear. Right? The author gave you proof. He didn't want to hear that stuff. I'm just showing you this for a reason, because the critical thinking is important. One of the reasons I put that post up is just to let it be known we're not with this type of foolishness that's in this article. These people that the sheriff is saying doesn't recognize the Constitution, United States or Kansas, or any of our laws. We're law abiders. The Constitution is one of the greatest documents of all time. All right? The prophet says in political slavery, anytime a man or woman fails to or refuses to cast a sacred ballot at the polls, they separate themselves from all rights of an American citizen. Right? This is how you control your affairs. This is how you put people in office to be a civil servant, and then you stay on top of them to make sure they're doing their job. This is how you can work from where you're at right now to change your reality, to fit you, to fit your society, your group, your community, right? So the prophet spoke on that several times, and that I was just sharing that because in that article they say something that has nothing to do with us, right? So if you're doing critical thinking, you won't even get caught up in that trap, right? Because you hear this and oh, they have nothing to do with us, and you'll let it be known. You won't get caught up in that. So there's people who might actually be a part of this group, and they about to have hell raining down on them because they're in that using that instance where, for all I know, it was just some powder on there, and somebody at the place freaked out, and they're trying to use that as an excuse to get the FBI and people involved and to brand these people as terrorists. Right? That's more than likely the case. There's no telling, though. They may have put something in that letter. I don't know. But here's the thing, and this is the reason why I'm sharing it. Critical thinking would get you away from that. You have a case where this sister, no knock to this sister, but where she gets busted on Facebook Live while teaching a class. The stuff that she's teaching doesn't work, right? She's telling people how to come and take the houses, take the land. She tried that. It didn't work. That's why she got arrested. Okay? And like critical thinking will keep you away from those instances, right? They had taken a house, or they were in a house that had foreclosed on. They wound up getting kicked out. People got arrested, right? It didn't work. So if it doesn't work for you, how you gonna teach people to do this stuff, right? And so she was arrested, and I guess she spent the last year in jail, and she's out. And boom, you look at this. Just March 3rd, just a few days ago, she's being interviewed for almost 3 hours. Where's the critical thinking? Critical thinking is not encouraged in our community at all, even amongst those who think they are wise and learn. Like, what are you interviewing her on? What not to do? Like, okay, that didn't work for you, so no, right? You're still going to pretend and act like it works. And then they're still pushing the consulate. When it's already been exposed how the people who were involved in that, the leadership in the consulate, like, literally like ex-government, ex agent, FBI, all not FBI, but law enforcement, all types of things, right? Like, come on, man. What's going on? Critical thinking, Morris, is very important. If you think critically, you will look at that, you will connect the dots, you'll remove your emotions from it. Maybe you feel like it's got to work because maybe you're messing with them already. But if you think critically, that'll make you stop messing with them. Whatever it is that makes people try to overlook the simple facts, the things that are right there to keep you away from it, you're overlooking that, right? So not to harp too much on that, but back to the Savage program. If you're thinking critically, you're not going to be abusing drugs, right? Even though they're trying to push pill and prescription drug abuse on us, you're not falling for that. That's stupid, right? But it's getting pushed on our people. All of these things, the whole Savage program, if you think critically, you can sidestep all of that. None of that stuff will affect you. If you really get in and you really want a solution, I advise all the Moors on here not only to share this video to help spread this. Everybody should share this. If you haven't shared it by now, make sure you click that share button to help spread awareness, because there's even people who consider themselves Moors who aren't thinking like this. You should all do this, right? But I advise everyone to share this video, to also share that other video that I showed. I'll show it one more time, just to basically to cracking the Savage Beast Code. It's on the Moors in America channel. Go share this video. Share this, help spread awareness. All right. Let me see. Hopefully y'all shared this a couple times, but share that, help spread awareness, right? That's important. But also, if you consider yourself a Moor, you should be studying the Quran of the Moor Science Temple of America. Study that in the Quran questionnaire so that you know what it is really about. Everybody should be working on subduing their lower self. You can't get caught up in any of these traps that are out here, right? So once again, prayers to DMX and his family, and to anyone else that's struggling with addiction, or any of these traps that are put out here for our people. We send them prayers, because the lower self is truly traveling to and fro, seeking whom it may devour. This is real. It's very real. And this shouldn't be an issue for us, but it is, because many of us are still caught up in that. All right. And once again, too, we ask that everybody sends a donation. Cash App, Moors in America. Just $ Moors in America. Send a donation. Make sure you click like and share. On that note, we're going to get out of here. I hope everybody enjoys their weekend. Enjoy your family. Make sure you share this video, and share some info with you real quickly, too. In closing, just want to ask that everybody subscribes, and also check out our website. And the website is just moorsinamerica.com. Right? You can just go to moorsinamerica.com. And also on Patreon, you can just go to Patreon, look up Moors in America, or Patreon/Moors in America. And we're on there, and we will have more content on there. We're going to wind up having classes and all types of information on there that you can only get on our Patreon. And we're also on Anchor.fm. You just go to anchor.fm/Moorish-Americans. We're on Facebook. We have a group on there where everybody can contribute. That's just Moors in America, the Facebook group. We also had a like page. We're on Instagram too at Moors in America. Also on Twitter. Just tell everybody about the channel and subscribe. And on that note, peace and love, y'all. Don't get caught up in this savage program. This is real. It's a big deal. Remember, they tried to remove us from the family of humans and to make us at the level with the beast of the field. They are on the record saying that. You saw the picture I showed you with Snoop Dogg, and he had the B words with the leashes around their neck. That's being on the level with the beast of the field. Right? I hope that made that plain and clear for everybody to see. That's not my opinion. That is the truth. Okay? I don't really see anybody else talking about it, but it don't matter. It's the truth. I'm going to cover things from a Moorish American perspective. All right? And that's why I'm pointing this out to you. So on that note, we're out. Peace and love, Moors.